Well, for most of us, that's just a fantasy. Enter a young man named Lambert Simnel around 1486. This boy, who was actually the son of a tradesman, was coached by a priest to impersonate one of the lost princes. But hearing rumours that the Earl of Warwick, another potential claimant to the throne, had died, they switched gears. But King Henry was no fool. He paraded the real Earl of Warwick through the streets of London to expose the fraud. Simnel eventually worked his way up to become a royal falconer, from a fake king to a royal servant. Not the worst outcome, all things considered. But the ghost of the lost princes wasn't done haunting the Tudor throne. Just a few years later, a more charismatic and convincing pretender appeared. There, he allegedly conspired with the real Earl of Warwick, the same one Lambert Simnel had impersonated. The cardinal, believing he was winning the Queen's secret favor, agreed to purchase the necklace on her behalf. Our final story takes us to the 20th century, and it's perhaps the most famous and heartbreaking of all. In 1918, during the Russian Revolution, Tsar Nicholas II, his wife Alexandra, and their 5 children were brutally executed by Bolshevik forces for years. However, rumors persisted that one of them had survived. Most often the youngest daughter, the Grand Duchess Anastasia. This hope gave rise to numerous women claiming to be the lost princess. The most convincing of them all was a woman who became known as Anna Anderson. She was pulled from a canal in Berlin in 1920 after a suicide attempt. In the hospital, she refused to identify herself. Another patient recognized her supposed resemblance to Anastasia, and the legend was born. Over the next several decades, Anna Anderson's life was a whirlwind of legal battles and public fascination. Some of the Romanovs' relatives and former servants who met her were utterly convinced she was Anastasia. They cited her knowledge of intimate court details, her physical resemblances, and her mannerisms. Others dismissed her as an obvious fraud, pointing out her inability to speak Russian and inconsistencies in her story. She fought a decades-long legal battle in Germany to be recognized as Anastasia and to claim a share of the Tsar's fortune, but she ultimately lost. She moved to the United States, married a history professor, and lived out her life clinging to her royal identity. The mystery was only solved after her death. In the 1990s, the remains of the Romanov family were discovered and identified through DNA testing. After Anna Anderson died, a DNA sample was tested against the Romanovs. The result was definitive. She was not related to them at all. Further research proved she was actually a Polish factory worker named Franciszka Szankowska, who had a history of mental illness and had disappeared around the same time Anna Anderson appeared. It was a sad end to a story that had captivated the world. Anna Anderson, or Franciszka, might have been a deliberate con artist, or she may have genuinely believed her own story, a victim of trauma and delusion. From Lambert Simnel's bizarre turn as a kitchen boy to Perkin Warbeck's tragic end. From Jean de Vauwer's kingdom-toppling scam to Anna Anderson's lifelong heartbreaking performance. These stories are more than just historical curiosities. They show us how much people are willing to believe in a fairy tale, especially during times of chaos and uncertainty. They reveal the power of a good story and the desperate human need for hope, for a lost prince or princess to return and make everything right. These pretenders might not have had royal blood, but they certainly made their mark on history. Thanks so much for watching. Which of these stories did you find the most fascinating? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey into the world of royal imposters, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the strangest corners of history. See you next time.